Hey there, viewers, and welcome back to the Southman Auto Channel. Got the 2020 Chevrolet. It's a 2500. It's the HD. It's the high country. It's got the big 6.6 gasser. Park and brake malfunction light is on of some sort. Just says service parking brake or something along those lines on the dash, and has the little yellow parking brake indicator with a little wrench in it, indicating some kind of service there is needed. I did make the observation pulling it in though that the parking brake works just fine, or it seems to. You push the button, parking brake turns on, the red parking brake light comes on, step on the brake, hit the button, parking brake turns off, but the service parking brake indicator remains on. I loaded the vehicle info here in the Altel. I'll go in and show you the, what's on the dash here in a minute. I just figured we'd pull codes first, see what things look like, see if we can get an idea what's going on here. Okay, so electronic parking, the electronic brake control module. This one here is requesting a light. Parking brake lining excessive wear detected. So we can see, I like to look at these as the MIL status, so the malfunction indicator light, because we see that their history, it's not current, this ignition cycle passed. I look to see which one of these is turning the light on. So we have this here, the parking brake lining excessive wear detected, so that's interesting. And then kind of glance at the other ones just to see what's going on there. Body control module, we're not super worried about. These are just some other codes that are stored in it. No other customer complaints. Transfer case, video processing control module. All right, well, we'll go back here, see what we can do. Yeah, none of these are requesting lights, so a lot of these are just old codes. Electronic control unit software, security code not programmed. That's interesting. Been not programmed. The steering column lock control module. Huh. All right, well, let's, I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna focus our efforts on this. I'm gonna go ahead and save this report. It's weird it didn't print out the monitors for me. I'm gonna save this report, possibly clear the codes out of it, maybe take it for a little short drive, possibly not. We'll see. But I think this is what we're gonna need to focus our efforts on, is this one right here, the C15 double Ds. I'm gonna take a little rip around the block there. So here's what it says, service park and brake. I did go ahead, and you can see the little indicator up top there, the little wrench under the park and brake. I did clear those history codes out. I just wanna go for a little rip there around the block. And I'll show you guys the parking brake here. Oops. What the heck? Oh, see, now it's flashing. There it goes. Oh, that's weird. Yeah, it's holding the vehicle right now. Yeah, step on brake to release. Okay. Yeah, I just pushed it, just brought the truck to a stop. Step on the brake, release it. Okay, so the parking brake does work. So that's interesting. I guess I've done a fair amount of Chevy half-tons with, all the parking brake lights on, or all the brake lights on. But I can't say I've done a 3/4 ton. So I do see the red park light is flashing. Corner here. And it's just so weird. You got you guys probably can't see it, but the heads-up display and the camera for a rear view mirror, and it's a little overwhelming. It's almost a little, I don't want to say disorienting, but I guess I'm just not used to a heads-up display and camera, rear view mirror and stuff. It's a sensory overload here. Do another quick fault scan, see if it came up with anything. Oh, it did. So we have more codes now in the park and brake module than we had previously, because I cleared them and all it had remaining was that one. Let's see what we have now. Oh, interesting. See, requested. All right. Wow. So this is a lot to take in. Pretty unfamiliar with this system. This is kind of curious. Has nothing to do with our problem, but still kind of curious. Okay, so left parking brake actuator circuit, right parking brake actuator circuit slip detected. Park brake control circuit performance, EEPROM performance malfunction, and park and brake lining excessive wear. Which this C15DD, that one stayed when I cleared all codes. I'm gonna do a little poking. I'm not gonna bother you guys with that. See what I come up with. See which direction. See if any of this makes sense. Kind of get a lay of the landscape, if you will. See what components, where they're located, how the park and brake system works. I don't think the 3/4 tons are built into the calipers. Could be wrong, but you check for service bulletins, recalls, anything like that. Certainly don't want the customer paying if he doesn't have to, and see if we can come up with a plan. Well, it is a lot to take in, folks. I don't know any other way to say it. Quite a bit of reading there to figure out where I think we should start. It does appear to be a caliper mounted parking brake, at least according to service data, or at least a caliper mounted brake actuator, park and brake actuator. For some reason I didn't think 3/4 tons were, but at the end of the day, as they say downstate, long story short, we need to get a maintainer on this thing, get it up in the air. Let's get the rear wheels off and just kind of get a, lay of the land, if you will. Let's see if we can actuate some actuators, see what's working, see if there's any pins seized up, anything like that. So it stated that it determined its functionality, like excessive lining wear, by the amount of time it takes to engage, and it measures current draw when doing so. And it says if it takes more than 2.8 seconds, generates that code. The internal control module error apparently can be generated from it not going through a relearn process. So there's a lot of variables. I don't remember what that, I don't have it up on the screen more, but what that first code was, with stating if there's any other codes, address them first. So it leads me to question some things. At this point I want to stop. Let's get a look, see what things look like, and go from there. Well, service info is all over the place. Obviously not caliper mounted parking brakes, but they do have an actuator up here. So it's just a standard, just your regular run-of-the-mill Chevy drum mounted parking brake with an electronic actuator. Okay. We don't have any slits. Well, actually maybe if we pop that rubber out, we can see the lining. Yeah, that one's got a rubber plug down for the adjuster. Well, let me set you guys down and see if we can look in there without pulling the calipers off. There's tons of rear brake pad. We got electronic wire with this here, electronic wire wear sensor for the rear pads. Well, maybe she's just way out of adjustment. Let me look, see if I can see the end of the lining there, and see if we can't pop the adjuster plug out, see what things look like in there. Well, I'll just leave that out. You can't see. I can see the back of the backing plate, of the shoe. Well, at the end of the day, we need to pull the wheels, I guess. I was hoping to see a little more in there, but can't. Yeah, I can see the adjuster, but I don't want to go and adjust these out if something's wrong, if indeed the linings are smoked, or mean, we're going on 6 years old, so it is a strong possibility. All right, well, let me get the wheels off. So it's these big old suckers you're taking out of there, and they're Loctited. Alright, let's see. Let me go get a little pry driver here. Alright, we're going to set the caliper right there. I don't think we need to put it in service mode where it's going to back the actuator out. I don't feel any drag whatsoever. We're going to get the air hammer, rattle this a little bit, get this rotor to break loose, and slip it off. And like I say, if everything's cool, you know, we get in there, everything looks good, we'll tear apart that side, have a look. We'll put it in service mode, back the actuators off, do the mechanical adjustment, and then re-engage them, and then do the park and brake calibration relearn, and then see where we're at. I think this is our best approach. There's your problem, lady, right there. All right. The park and brake shoes have left the chat. So that's why we can only see just the backing plate. All right, old son. I suppose what we can do, because there's always the age-old question of, does the park and brake actuator work? I don't want to go actuating it and deactuating it with the drum off for obvious reasons. Because, well, in case the reason is not obvious, my brain instantly goes to how far is that thing going to go before it stops? You know, does this whole mess just unwind itself? I don't know. And I don't want to find out. How about this? So inside that rotor where the park and brake shoe rides, pretty chowdered up. Obviously the friction material's gone. I'm gonna slip that on just a little bit. Let's go grab the scan tool, see if we can actuate it and then deactivate it. See if we can see stuff moving, give us an idea here. All right, I'm gonna go to rear brake caliper piston extend. Okay, I just clicked that. Perform this function, turn ignition on with engine not running and vehicle in park. Hit continue. Enable. Device ABS, solenoid, valves, or pump motor malfunction, it says. So maybe because we have codes in there, may not be able to do that. Let's do activate rear parking brake service position. Hit continue, enable. Device exceeds limits, ABS solenoid valves or pump motor malfunction. Okay, so perhaps when there's code stored in the system, which would be absolutely asinine that it wouldn't allow us to do any calibrations, I'm going to take and erase the codes. Sorry I don't have it up on your screen for you. Okay, it says we have no codes. I'm going to go back to active tests. And then we're going to go to rear parking brake or rear brake caliper extend. And there we go. Oh, look at that. Aw, that's cute. And now it's going back. Well, that's fun. Okay, so we learned that both of those work. So, great. So that's not too bad. I think what I'll do at this point, because obviously we're going to have to order, parking brake shoes, hardware. Wish I had a good machine shop close by with a lathe. I would have them cut the inside of that drum for us. But we don't. Unfortunately. Our local Napa has a brake lathe, but the arbor is off about 4 thousandths. They'll still willingly turn brake rotors for you. They'll shake 100 times worse than they did when you started. I wonder if we can, it'd be nice if we could just disengage this side and engage that side without taking the whole mess apart. You know what I mean? Being that all this is going to come right back apart, I'm not doing it proper right now. As far as Loctite and all that stuff. Feels like it still has plenty in there though. So this is interesting. Parking brake's locked right up. Put that side together. Tighten it up to factory specs. Of course, I came over here thinking like, well, let's just see, does this wheel wiggle? And I'm, kind of going back and forth with it, and then the parking brake's automatically engaged. So that's kind of interesting. Let's see if we can use the scan tool to back it back off. But I will tell you this, I heard the actuators come on, this brake locked up immediately, and then that actuator over there just kept going and going and going because they had to make up all that distance. So I would say it's based on what I saw, which I'm going to try to show you. Okay, I want to see if we have any codes so we can hopefully, okay, so we have no codes. Let's see if we can back this off. We're going to go to rear brake caliper piston retract. I don't know if it'll do it. Oh, it did. Okay. A lot of noise going on over there. So now, oh, it actually reapplied it. Left parking brake status applied. Of course, it's going to kick us out of this test now. I'm going to go back into rear brake caliper piston retract. Hit continue. Okay, so this one's backed off. Okay, so it's backed off right now. Right parking brake status comes up as unknown. It shows left side being released. There it goes. Yep. So yeah, I just immediately put that one on, but I didn't hear that one over there, and I assume because it threw an error. Because you can see up here on the scan tool it says right parking brake status unknown, and I assume it's because it's got some over travel, things of that nature. So let's go into trouble codes. Let me just see here. Yeah, still no code, so kind of interesting. At the end of the day, I think this actuator works. We're going to do our shoes in pairs. Kind of frustrating. I don't know what to do, brake rotor wise. I mean, the inside of that rotor is super rusty. I don't think I would want that riding against my new shoes. It's unlikely that the parking brake even gets used on this vehicle. Things probably just fell apart. It may have engaged automatically one time, set all these codes or whatever. You know, I don't know the series of events that led up to it, but I do know that mechanically we need to resolve the mechanical issues first before we do anything else. I did put the little rubbers back in that backing plate. Like I say, calipers on, torque to factory specs. I'm going to throw the wheel on it. We're going to get this customer an estimate and see what he wants to do from there. I think I'm going to feel the most comfortable putting rotors on it, park and brake shoes, park and brake hardware, get everything tore apart. I'm kind of curious how the little actuator works up there. I'll look in service info, see if they're able to be taken apart, lubed, anything like that, or if they're just a sealed assembly and, you know, they work or they don't type of situation. Then we'll get it all together, put the brakes in service mode, get them backed off, adjust them mechanically, recalibrate everything, and then see if there's any codes from there. I think that's the best approach, and I don't believe that we can do anything else at this point, you know, seeing what we see. So anyhow, stick around for part 2. If I get the job, I'll bring you along. If I don't, at least this gives you something to look at if you're getting codes like this. Find us on Insta, folks, the Facebook. Just remember, viewers, if I can do it, you can do it. Thanks for watching.